support.
I feel like Dia's gotten better because Dia's got better tanks, though. So Dia's gotten better, but I feel like when you have better tanks, it makes you a better support.
Yeah.
When you don't have tanks that just go out there and get killed, then what are you going to support? Dead? You can't support dead people. So...
Right. It's,
I mean, Bruce Willis did it, but whatever. Welcome everybody to Tactical Advisors. We are a podcast for the Overwatch League. I am your host, Fragpause. If you don't know who I am, I also host Beyond Bytes. We are an extension of Beyond Recognition Gaming 2.0. I am joined here by the lovely Thea, who you should recognize from our esports show. And I am also joined by Retro. He is a lovely newest official member of Beyond, but he has been our lovely friend for a while now, as his fiance is a mod for our Twitch.
Wait, I'm a member? Since when?
Since I
just
said. Joke's on you, now you remember?
Chef.
You messed up.
Yep. That's
I'm
right.
like, oh,
This is pretty much the reaction of every person that's ever been a member of Beyond. Like, oh, I'm
Sooner
a
or
member?
later.
Shit.
He'll accept his fate by the next time we
I'll have random work on that.
it'll be fine.
So, we are talking today about playoffs. Playoffs, basically the battle for LA is kind of what the playoffs really is. I mean, let's be honest. So, if you guys haven't seen, this way. The brackets are over here. It is mine, Retro, and Thea's in a loop, so make sure you guys check that out as we're discussing it. For my bracket, we have on July 11th, we have the first game, which is going to be Philly versus Boston. These games are going to be the best of 5 maps for 3 games. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, that sounds like a really long set of matches. That's what I thought too. But they will be doing map set number 1 on the first day and then continuing on the 13th and 14th if need be. I have Boston winning. None of us had Philly winning, did we?
No
faith in Philly. Sorry.
No. Sorry.
Not against Boston.
No.
It's Boston.
It's Boston. I have faith in my Red Sox. Uprising.
Uprising.
The Uprising has just been on, they've been on fire for too long. Are you going to choose?
Consistently really good. Like, how do you not?
Exactly. Like, the only way I see Philly beating them is if Boston has a rare bad game.
I don't see that happening in playoffs, though.
Yeah, and they need to have 4 or 5 in a row to be able to lose. I don't see it.
It's a lot of maps to have to drop if they're doing the best of 3.
Exactly.
Speaking of Boston and Philly, though, they're actually fairly even matched if you look at the regular playoffs or at the regular season, because Boston and Philly are the only ones to only go to stage playoffs once. Everybody else has gone at least twice. So, other than the fact that Boston has the 10-0, they're fairly even matched.
I feel I'm kind of interested to kind of see how this game is going to go because these are season 1 playoffs. These aren't stage playoffs. It is for the whole kit and caboodle. So I feel like the stats that have been happening the last 4 stages, I feel like they're just completely gone and everything's from scratch because these guys are going to be like, all right, this is it until the next season, which who knows when that's going to start. They're gonna cut each other. They're gonna meet in an alley and start slashing. It's gonna be really, really good to watch. I'm excited to watch the bloodshed.
Oh, I am.
Oh yeah. So you're right though. You did send the stats, and they are actually 50-50 with each other as far as the times that they've played. So there is a chance. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't have too much faith in Boston. I like Philly, don't get me wrong. I like them, I just don't think they're going to win.
Yeah, there's some good players for Philly. It's just...
They're entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it'll be a fun match regardless, but Boston just seems like they have too much power.
Yep. So the next is the Spitfire versus LA. This is probably the game that I'm looking forward to the most right now because Spitfire is a very good team and LA is my close to second favorite team behind the Fuel. So I picked LA to lose. Unfortunately, I'm sorry because I think I kind of am. Like we were saying before the show, I hope my bracket is completely wrong because I want LA to win. I want the Gladiators to win the whole thing, or as we were talking about, if Gladiators don't win, then I want the other LA team to win. But I just have this feeling that I'm going to be disappointed if I pick the Gladiators. I don't want to be, but I can't. And I'm the lone person out because I'm the only one that picked them to lose.
This London for me was, I hate to say it, but a disappointment. Because if you actually look at the players on London, they were the Team 1 and Team 2 before Overwatch League actually formed. They were the 2 best teams in the world. And Cloud9 just went, here's some money, have it, be on my team. They have the best 2 teams in the world, and they only made they made the stage playoffs twice, but they only really did it in convincing fashion the one time.
They took it all the first stage. They beat both Houston and Boston to take it all.
Exactly, and that's really the only one where I said they were really that convincing, in my eyes anyway. Having people who were the best 2 teams in the world, you should be stomping everyone. Simple as that. And they disappointed because of that.
I mean, I agree. They definitely fell apart in stage 4. I think that was their lowest mark, actually. Yeah, they went 4-6 in stage 4, and they were a -5 map differential. Like, that was kind of just like, yeah, we're here, we're gonna play, and oh, look at that, we made it into the playoffs.
Yeah, like the last time I was actually cheering for Spitfires to win would have been when they were playing, I think it was Fusion on the last
game. Yeah, it was London and Fusion.
Yeah, and that was just because I wanted Frag's team of, Fuel to stay in. So I wanted London. I wanted them to beat Fusion. That's the only reason I was cheering for them.
And we stayed in, and then we totally tanked it.
Yeah. It's okay.
So heartbreaking. Because we could have won that. It was too close for us to not win.
You guys easily could have, yes. But the thing is, though, Fuel turned their team completely around in the last stage. So wear that shirt with pride. Simple as that. I do.
I feel like the addition of OGE was like a really big deal.
Oh, yeah.
I think it took a lot of pressure off of Mickey. Because I feel like there was way too much on him in the previous stages. Because I don't feel like there was a dominant other tank. Especially once that XQC stuff kind of went crazy. I feel like all the heat was on Mickey for tanking, and now he can now kind of breathe a little bit because OG is a true tank.
Yeah. Plus also
And
just
Taimu is all of a sudden just woken up out of Rapunzel's like Snow White sleep. So it's coming together. But
exactly. But we should get back to the actual playoffs instead of talking about your team. Just to suck up for you.
Callouts, my team.
I know.
they
I'm a little giddy because I get to talk about my team. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Why is LA gonna win? Besides the fact that they should be really pissed off about that LA game that they did.
Oh my gosh, that LA
should
game
be fire right there.
That was so close, and we've seen LA versus LA so much in the regular season, and when they willingly chose Valiant to play in the stage finals, it was like, oh my gosh, what are you guys doing?
That was a throwdown, though. That was some shade.
It was so much fun to watch. I was like, oh my god, they're so close. They could do it, and then they didn't do it.
I really thought they were too, because they lost the first map, didn't they? And then they won the second.
Yeah,
they won the second like really predominantly, and I was like, all right, they're good. They're gonna push forward now. They woke up. They're fine. And then they went back to sleep. I don't know what happened, but I was really, really not happy that Gladiators lost.
I'm excited to. I'm excited to see LA versus LA again in the actual playoffs. Like, I'm hoping that happens. It would be a phenomenal match to watch.
Well, you have that in your bracket, so maybe.
Yes, I do. I do. So the reason why I'm excited to watch Gladiators in the stage or in the playoffs is I'm going to jump on the bandwagon here. And who's better than Fisher? Nobody.
No, but you're right. He is very good.
Fisher's amazing, and it's I lost my train of thought here. I'm sorry. The last match of the season, when Fisher was out sick, like, the team wasn't horrible, but you could see that they were lacking just that little bit of extra oomph. So I'm really hoping that everybody stays healthy. It's not just Fisher that needs to stay healthy, because illnesses happen, but in general, that team clicks because they all work together so well. So everybody needs to stay healthy. And then I kind of have like a little itty bitty tiny crush on Surefour. Like, Surefour is so much fun to watch, and his personality is amazing.
Itty bitty crown.
Itty bitty one.
Bustin'.
Don't rat me out.
We're only recording. Whoops.
Never show him this video.
Never.
So
It's not going to be uploaded for the whole world to see or anything.
And then who was our addition that we got near the end? Void.
Yes.
Void has been doing pretty well, filling that slot when they need a rest.
Yep.
So there's some pretty decent people on Gladiators that can really produce. And if everybody produces, it's going to be fun to watch, and I think they can go pretty far.
I agree. They have to just stay communicative, because I think part of the reason that they fell apart with LA is I don't think they were communicating as well as they could have. It just seemed like every time that they tried to run in there, they just got melted, all of them together. And it didn't really seem like they had much of a plan. They tried different things, but it just didn't feel cohesive.
No, I agree. And I think that's a language barrier that they need to adjust as well. Which I think they did adjust fairly well near the end. I think that showed near the end that they bypassed the language barrier and they were communicating better, and pushes were much more coordinated. But I mean, a language barrier is a problem for most of these teams anyway, because hardly anybody is all from the same area.
Well, and not only you have the American players, you have Korean players, you have French players, German players. Like, even people, even when they do speak English, some of these are very thick, accented English. So even I have a hard time understanding ones that speak English.
Yeah.
Plus, the thing is also, if you just look at some of the pure English teams, like, I'm going to throw out Houston because I am a Houston fan, simple as that.
But they have the most English-speaking teams, or members.
Yes, they do. However, if you listen to each of the players, just the accents itself can make, small, minor callouts hugely different, which that can sway something majorly. Like, so just imagine it with LA, how they do have some Koreans, some English-speaking, and all that. The callouts are going to be awful. Like, not awful as in they're not able to do it, but awful for that split second trying to figure out as someone playing.
Yeah,
and that's something you're going to unfortunately have to deal with, because just the way North America itself is, when it comes to esports, we are not one of the best places. We are not one of the best areas for players to come from. There are a million better places. But we are also the place that has the most money to bring those players together.
You're right. And back to what you were saying about having to decipher those call-outs. I mean, the game is going by so fast that if somebody makes a call-out, you have maybe a millisecond to figure out what they're trying to say if it's not the most clear, and then make a decision that quickly. So if you hear something even a little bit wrong and you make the wrong choice, I mean, that could cost you a whole point. That could cost you the last push, which costs you the whole map. I mean, so trying to understand each other is extremely important. I feel like they're getting better. I feel like the more that they play with each other and they talk to each other more, it'll be easier. But you can definitely still tell that there's issues with understanding a little bit.
Well, and pressure has got to be a factor too, because the broadcasters were talking about it one of the last days of games, and they were saying that in Korean, there's a certain phrase that if you change just one word, it changes from I need healing to we need to heal, or something like that. Like, it changes the meaning completely differently. It's from I need the healing to you need to go here to heal, and it could mess up a whole push.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. Like, people say English is hard to understand. Yeah, but everything's at least if I say, hey, go here doesn't really have that many different meanings. Whereas in Korean, you could say, I go here and you go here, and they just one small letter difference.
Yep, two totally different meanings.
But they sound the exact same.
And the pressure on the stage, you could slip up just that one little bit. You might not mean it, but like, what do they call it? A Freudian slip?
Oh, yeah.
And it could destroy everything.
I feel like the pressure on the stage is equivalent to where you're playing like Fortnite or PUBG and it's just you and one other person and you get those cold sweats. But just constantly the whole time you're on the stage instead of that 30 seconds that you're fighting. I don't know if I could handle that. So more props to them for even being able to compete on that kind of level, because I don't know if I could keep my cool. So you guys have the Gladiators to win over London. I have London winning. Back to the other side of the bracket. If we all picked Boston, so then that would mean Boston would play Los Angeles Valiant, I believe, yes. I know that we all actually, I believe, have Valiant winning that.
No, I
Do you not
changed.
Have it? Did you?
I know. I changed.
You sneaky. You did change it.
I did. Just because Boston just has that power, I feel like there is a slim possibility that Boston could beat the Valiant. And I'm not saying that I want to see that, but I think that they do have that potential. So
this argument sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay,
That's the
well,
thing.
I just
You are talking about Boston. They are, they're Boston. How else can we put it? So it's
He's not
her
wrong.
argument is valid.
It's valid. I feel like the Valiant are gonna ride the coattails of beating LA a little bit. I feel like it's gonna be fire for both teams. So it's gonna be fire for LA for losing, because they're the ones that picked them, and then it's gonna be fire for the Valiant because they got picked. They got this challenge thrown out in front of them, and they completed it, and now they're gonna be able to ride those game endorphins over Boston. So that's what I'm hoping for. Because, like I said, I have LA losing in the first round. So, at that point, the other LA team I have is Valiant. So, I can't go for somebody. I can't believe you switched it. I didn't even know you switched. You sneaky little woman.
I saw that, and I was
Yeah.
this will be fun.
Just waiting for it.
This will be fun to see what happens.
These games are going to be really good, though. I'm really excited. I'm pissed that we have to wait so long to see these games.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's just like you said. I'm hoping that side of my bracket falls apart, and it is the Valiant versus the Gladiators, and the winner take all.
Oh God, what an epic championship game that would be, though. LA.
It'd be
versus
so.
LA.
Oh, it would be so much fun to see. Like, everybody's all hyped up about New
She's getting
York.
all giddy about it just as talking about it. She's like, "Oh,
I
that's
know,
amazing."
But it would just. And I'm not normally like this, and you know this, but like it would be so much fun to see the New York fans, because just like this sad, disappointed look on their face, because everybody is counting on New York, and just have the Valiant versus Gladiators and the winner take all. That would be amazing. So much fun.
New York is constantly disappointed anyway because they're Yankees fans, but whatever.
All right, so you guys talk about your Valiant, or the Valiant winning over Boston.
I just think they're gonna win based off of the fire from LA. They were the ones that were picked. So if somebody comes to me and says, "I challenge you," and then I beat the crap out of you, I pretty much should think that I'm gonna be able to beat anybody else that comes towards me.
Yeah,
like that has to be a huge confidence boost.
And what did they do? They beat New York.
Yeah, they did. So I slightly regret picking New York to win everything. I'm gonna stick with it, but I think if New York doesn't take it, that the Valiant will win it all, because the Valiant are in a very high happy wave right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Valiant is gonna win because of outside factors. And when I say outside factors, I mean just the structure around them that Noah Winston has been throwing at them and all that. I think that's going to help them majorly for taking down Boston. Simple as that.
That game is going to be really close, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. All these games, I don't think it's a clear-cut winner.
I think the only clear cut is probably just the Fusion game, to be perfectly honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only one where I have 100% certainty. Now watch, because I
Watch
said
we're wrong and our whole bracket just blows up.
Watch, we're all wrong, and Philly, who were like, no, they're losing, they're done, they win everything.
They're gonna watch this podcast and be like, those mofos, we're gonna prove them wrong.
No fate.
Do the damn thing, Philly. I mean, that would be great, though. That'd be cute, like little, almost Cinderella, because you think Philly is like a David amongst a bunch of Goliaths, I feel like.
Oh, Philly is, if they win, this will be one of the biggest Cinderella stories in, I don't want to say esports history, but modern esports history. And when I say modern, I mean like the past 2 years.
Right next to the Dragons, however, because every Overwatch fan is rooting for them to win a game. There are people that are rooting for their own teams to lose, just so Dragons can get a win.
Oh yeah, like when it comes down to it, the biggest fan base is hands down Dragons, because they have everyone cheering for them. I'm willing to put money on it that other players in the league are rooting for them to win. They're like, oh yeah, I want them to beat my team.
But then at the same time, you can't like willingly play like shit, because obviously you still want to win. So.
And yeah,
that'd be affecting their paycheck at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, who's gonna willingly do that?
I mean, they shouldn't.
Exactly. if it came out that anyone did, that'd be bad. But
Oh, they'd get banned from the league. They'd get kicked off the team, and no other team would hire them, so they wouldn't be that stupid.
exactly.
Yeah. So, the other side, the winner of the Spitfire Gladiator game is playing New York. New York on another high as well. They even said that they didn't want to face. It was either New York or the Valiant that they didn't want to face Dallas. That there were actually teams that saw that Dallas was coming if they didn't want to face them, and New York ended up facing them, and they beat them because we collapsed in fuel fashion. I have New York winning it all, so New York is going to beat London. I think if that matchup does happen, I feel like it's clear cut because as we discussed, London's a good team, but they haven't been consistently good. So they're very rocky, and I feel like New York has been pretty consistent for the most part as far as being in the top tiers. So,
But that's also mainly on Pine's back.
Yeah.
True.
Well,
So the thing, like right now with New York, they are, I hate to say it, but they have a god tier player on their team in Pine. If Pine falls apart for even one game, I can see the Gladiators for me and thee, or London for Frag, steamrolling them.
Well, and that's kind of I wanted to point out really quick. If anybody watched the New York Fuel game, the first game Pine got shut down. He was getting shut down.
Shot him down good.
Well, it was AKM that was going against. They said AKM as the widow, and for the first half of the game, he was kicking the crap out of it. But halfway through the game, Pine started coming back, and AKM had gotten Pine 5 times in a row. And right after that, Pine had gotten him 9 times. And as soon as Pine started getting him, that's when the Fuel lost the game. So I feel like Retro is right. It completely falls on Pine's back. If he has a bad game, they lose that game.
See, I wouldn't say 100% Pine's back because Jonak is a beast.
He is a very good Zen.
Yeah.
So, heals are the unsung heroes. So if Pine does fall apart, I think Jonak could at minimal pick up some of the slack, if not all of it.
But that's the thing, though. Right now, I do compare a lot to CSGO because I play that. I follow that religiously. Right now with Pine, we have a situation like with Fnatic in 2015, I believe it was, when Olaf Meister and JDM were on the team. JDM was number 2. Olaf Meister was number 1 by a mile. And those were the 2 best players in pretty much the league. And Olaf Meister started falling apart, and Fnatic started losing because that gap between JDM and Olaf Meister was just too big. And I see that being the exact same here between Jonak and Pine. That gap is just too big. If Pine falls too much, I'm not sure Jonak can climb enough to equal out so that they're still the same.
Honestly, that's kind of how I feel. I feel like Jonak is good, but I don't think he's going to be able to be as good as he is going to have to be if Pine has a bad game.
But I've seen him be attack Zen when he needs to be. So, I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, is it probable? Probably not. But is it possible? Yes.
It is possible. It is. I just don't think it's going to happen. Just from watching that New York Fuel game, I just feel like it completely rides on Pine's shoulders. Which is really, more props to him for being able to handle the pressure because I think he knows. He has to know that the pressure for these games falls on him. So he either needs to be able to step up to that or he needs to talk to his team and be like, look, if I have a not so great game, it can't be the reason that we lose. You guys have to be able to step this up and meet me in the middle somewhere. So,
and if it's, some of the players get better with niche picks and that's how they do it, that it in itself, having that niche pick that no one plays, but you can just destroy at in the current meta we have, that's amazing. Yeah. Because when you look at it, someone who's able to play Symmetra, amazingly. Symmetra, someone who really doesn't see that much play.
I hate
at the
Symmetra
pro level.
players.
Doomfist.
He does see a lot of play at the pro level. I'm talking about pro level here.
Well, yeah, and Doofus is being played a lot more now too. So
He's being played more, but Hydration's the only one who's run Doomfist on a regular basis, and he kills with it.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a perfect example. Most people will flex to Doomfist.
Right.
Hydration will snap pick him in the beginning.
Yeah.
And there's, having picks like that, that's how a team can go from, okay, we're good, but we have a god tier player who's elevating us this high, to being we're great with that god tier player.
yeah, you're right.
And it's, that's another thing too. It's going to be interesting to see how many mirror matches we get. Like how many people are going to run the Mercy, the Reinhardt, the Diva. Who are the other three mains?
Well, Bridget's become a big main now too.
Yeah, Bridget. But like it's.
But you can see a change in the metas though. Like how much was Tracer played, and now.
Not a lot.
No.
Exactly. So if you have someone who was god tier on Tracer before and now goes back to her, that will help Pine out, so that he's not having to, okay, let's strap this entire stadium to my back and let's start climbing a mountain.
I feel like the playoffs are going to be where people kind of just throw out the most crazy picks, because these teams now are being able to figure out more and more how to deal with these players. They're figuring out how to deal with the Bridges. They're figuring out how to deal with the Tracers, how to deal with Junkrats or whatever. So I feel like during these playoffs, I think that we're going to see a lot more player switching than we have.
And I'm excited for it, because some of the matches were really hard to watch when it's like, I'm going to keep being Tracer, 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 and it didn't go anywhere. But the people that are willing to be like, oh, I'm going to switch because this isn't going so well. I don't care that I'm 60% to my ult. I'm going to switch because this character will get me farther than being a no-good Tracer.
I can't wait with players like that in regular Overwatch.
Yeah. Like some of the games we were watching, it felt like I was watching a silver game. And I don't want to say that to insult the pros, because that's not what I'm getting.
I can't climb out of bronze, thank you. Me and Retro actually played a couple of comp games last night. I think we won like 2.
We won 1.
Oh, we did. I'm sorry. I tried to give us like 50% more credit. My bad.
No, we got destroyed on the other 4.
But we both played well. It was everybody else that sucked.
A huge part of the issue was the team, like just the team chat. I know I always go into it because I'm very competitive, and Frag wasn't always in audio, but she was still listening, watching the callouts, reading the chat.
I'm so good, I don't need audio.
But there was only one game where we really had people doing callouts, and the person doing the callouts was playing like an idiot. So it felt like it felt like we were playing silver and bronze, and I was just like seeing some of these games. It feels like that, and it's just like even the pros do it, because you'll get in the this is the meta, I have to do this mindset, or Tracer's currently meta, so I have to play Junkrat because he's not meta. He'll be a good pick against the meta. But Tracer can get around him and just, bam, bam, 2 shots to the back of the head and you're dead, it feels like. So it's...
Well, it could also be a pride thing, too. Like, if you're a main Tracer, you don't want to swallow your pride and be like, all right, my main's not working out, let me switch. Because I feel like that's a pride hit. But you have to be able to swallow your pride and switch to what's going to help your team if you're going to be a pro, too. But we're seeing switches a lot more now.
Yeah,
and hopefully it continues.
Yeah, hopefully it does continue.
The thing I also like is how a lot of teams are taking out their best players for game 1, game 2, and throwing them in game 3, 4, 5, so that if they have to do the reverse sweep, they can.
Yeah. I mean, how many reverse sweeps have we seen lately? LA did it. Gladiators did it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I started a new job just before this season started, so it's, I mean, not this season, but this stage, and I unfortunately was not able to watch a lot of it.
We've been trying to keep him updated.
Yes.
Yeah. I also
You,
have been listening to the games as I've been driving to and from work because I live an hour away from where I work, round trip, so half hour away. So I am able to watch at least one game a day. But with how many games get played a day,
Well, especially with the playoffs. Like, how
yeah,
crazy would it be if all of these playoff games went the full 3?
exactly.
That'd actually be really exciting.
well, and I think that's why they have the schedule so split up the way that they do, so that if it does go all 3, we'll have time to watch them.
Yeah, I'll be having it in my calendar.
There's that. Plus, there's also just on the players themselves, the strain of all that. If, let's say, they that the third day there was also, you know, the semis were also that day. That was the first set. If you needed it too, that would just destroy the teams who had to grind through the quarters, then into the semis, and all that. That would destroy them. So they need that. Plus, also the casters need it. And let's be completely honest,
The fans
we
need it.
Yeah, it's too much.
Blizzard is doing it smart. I would much rather see a stage playoffs like this. I'd much rather see this format with every tournament, with every game out there, where the big final, takes 2-3 weeks to get through it.
But I feel like, as we were talking about, with all of these willingness to switch players in and out, willingness to switch heroes, I feel like it's going to be in a very exciting playoffs. It's more entertaining to watch when people are switching. You don't want to watch, a Tracer main. No offense to Tracer players. I know it seems like we're picking on her. We're not.
But Brigade has destroyed Tracer mains, so...
Well, I play McCree and I destroy Tracer main. Sun, rapid fire, boom, done. But I think it's definitely making these games more exciting to watch. Especially with the Brigitte ad. I feel like ever since, people are swapping out their tank mains with her, and they're doing... What have they been doing lately? The 3 tank, 3 support meta, kinda.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. With all these new heroes that have been added, they're, in my eyes anyways, and a lot of other YouTubers I watch and listen to while I'm doing stuff, they all agree. Pretty much all the new heroes have been flex heroes. Like, look at Brigitte. She's a tank and a medic. Look at Moira. DPS and medic. Look at Ana. She can be DPS and medic too. Ana's one of the earlier ones, so she is more medic with slight DPS. Now let's look at
Zenyatta's the same way. Lucio is even considered in that.
The way they're reworking Symmetra, she'll be a flex too.
I feel like Mercy's kind of the only odd one out, but yet her solo heals are the best.
The best,
everybody.
yeah.
Oh yeah, but I was mainly just talking about new heroes. Look at Doomfist. He's a tank and a DPS in my eyes. And then Orisa, there we go. That's the person I was forgetting. She's a tank and DPS. So you can easily triple tank, triple support, and still have that 2-2-2 setup in the game.
Setup.
Because you have the Moira being healing, but also DPS primarily. So you can have the Ana and the Mercy heal, and then have the Moira damaging and healing. And
her DPS is not anything to shake a stick at either. Like, you can easily get 5 golds with her. Like, her DPS is not crap.
Exactly. Like, look at you and me, Frag, when we were playing. I had 5 golds with her. I had the most damage. I had the most healing. I had the most kills. I had the most objective time. I had the most...
Objective kills.
Thank you. Objective kills. Yeah. It's like, what's the other 5th? I also had the most deaths, which that was very hurtful to the team. Because yes, I had gold and everything, but I also died the most. And I recognize that. And that's the thing about all these pros. They recognize that too. So they are going for what is the best for the team.
I'm just waiting for attack Symmetra to happen. I hate Symmetra, but I want to see it. In the finals, attack Symmetra.
If any of the players do that, I'm out. Actually, no. If any of the players do that,
Quit.
I will drink a giant bottle of vodka straight.
Okay, it's on camera.
Yep, he already put it there. You saw it here.
You saw it here first.
Yep.
I'll
I
do
would
it.
pay to see that, by the way. I'm gonna expect like video footage, like live video
See,
footage.
There
I
will
would
be
be.
random when we're in the hospital afterwards and be like, see, this is how you get alcohol poisoning by having a big mouth.
This is what attack Symmetras cause.
Torb. Oh my gosh, would it not be so much fun to see a Torb?
No, it wouldn't. I am so salty against any Torb players at the moment because yesterday I was getting killed by turrets so much. I was raging so hard. Retro knows because he's laughing. I was getting so mad.
Oh no, I understand. I do. I get it. That's why I brought it up.
Oh, I hate Torb more than Symmetra. Easily.
Torb can be amazing. I'd much rather
no.
play against a Torb player than a Symmetra player because Torb, in my eyes, takes a lot more skill.
But Torb can also be. What's the word I'm looking for? He can be taken down pretty easily.
Yes, he can. He is very squishy.
He's squished. Well, it doesn't even matter because yesterday I was killing Torb, but then his turret was like still there hanging out and I died, so whatever.
That's the thing about him.
So, going back to the other side, if we have the Valiant, what is it? I'm trying to think of how this bracket works.
Well,
If we have the Valiant winning, so for my bracket, I have the Valiant winning, and then New York going to be the final matchup. I believe is what I have on.
yeah.
And
Yep.
then I have New York winning. The only reason I have New York winning is because I have pride. And if the Fuel are going to lose, I want them to lose to the team that wins it all. Now, the other side of me wants LA to win, but I have more pride than wanting LA to win. So I picked New York to win. I still want the Gladiators to win it all, like, in my hearts. But I'm going to pick New York. I feel like they're just too consistently good. And I feel like this playoff stage is only going to amplify that. So I have New York winning it all. Hopefully they do, so I can be right.
I get what you're saying, but when it comes to New York, my point earlier about it being on Pine's back, I don't see him doing that against both LA teams with how consistent both LA teams have been. So
Yeah. You do have a point. That's going to be hard.
Down to, let's say, LA versus LA, I see the Valiants winning it because of, as I said, just the background, the people around them to help. That can take huge amounts of stress off someone.
Yeah, and you have the same final matchup that I do. Only you have the Valiant winning over New York.
Right.
So we're a little bit on the same page. Black Sheep Thea over here. There's a little bit of a different setup.
I mean, I have to give you guys options, don't I? We got to talk about other things. We can't all talk about the same thing.
Wow.
Oh, sure. It has nothing to do with the fact that the Gladiators are your favorite team.
Not at
So
all.
you like
No, not at all.
So you
No.
have Gladiators going up against
Yeah,
Boston.
it's Boston. Yeah. And
how do you
I'm-
think that's going to play out?
I mean, Gladiators are going to win. Why wouldn't they? Like, Gladiators are going to take it all, and I'm going to rep my purple and white pride all the way to next season. So,
All the way to Victoryville.
yeah. I mean,
I can see it happening. I mean, like I said, the fan part of me wants the Gladiators to win. But the logical part of me just can't do it. But I
Well,
hope
no.
for you that they do.
what's winning
no, I
now.
understand.
That's why I chose Valiants. Sorry, Thee, but I do see Pine being able to carry against one LA team, not against two in a row.
Yeah.
I just want
No,
to
I
point out that
understand.
I think it's funny that Retro and I, neither one of our teams are in the playoffs, and yet neither one of us picked the one person that has a team in the playoffs to win.
They just like to see me cry.
I mean, Great American Pastimes, that's what I do after work. What can I do to make 3 cry?
No, and see my reasoning behind pushing for the Valiant, regardless of how logical, or the Gladiators, regardless how logical it is. I'm a Cleveland sports fan, and we're always the ones that lose. So, like,
She
So
knows
why
you're
the
a,
not
struggle.
follow it in esports?
that explains it. You're a masochist.
Totally.
We have uncovered the clues, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the point. So there is a possibility, though, for LA to face LA, correct? Is
Yes.
that
Yeah.
a possibility? Okay. So
Yeah.
realistically, fan aside, if LA is LA again, do you think that the Gladiators are going to fall twice? Realistically.
I would hope not. I would hope they've learned from their mistakes of facing them and that they could pull it off. Like, at that point, I would just be happy because either one of them would take it all. But I would hope that the Gladiators would figure out how to take down their crosstown rivals. That's the best you're going to get out of me.
I even though I don't have it in the finals, I think an LA versus LA final match would be epic.
Yes.
Epic. Can you imagine
And
the amount of viewers for that?
I agree with you, Frank, and I'm in the same boat as you. I see Pine being able to carry it against the Gladiators. I don't see him being able to carry against the Valiants also. But I do think LA versus LA, that would be one of the hypest games out there. Because, A, all this is happening in LA.
No, it's in New
It's
York.
in New York.
Oh, it's in New York.
Yeah,
Mhm.
finals are in New York.
Okay.
Which I just want to
Okay.
point out that I picked New York to win before I knew that information.
I was still under the impression everything was happening in
But
LA.
if it was in LA though,
Mhm.
and LA versus LA in LA,
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
I would call out of work to watch that match. Not even gonna lie. Promotion be damned. Hope none of my bosses
I
watch
would.
this.
I just started. I need to keep the job.
I would figure out a way to watch the match if I had to be at work for it, because that would just be amazing to watch.
I'd trade shifts so that I'm working the night. I'd go to work for, a month straight.
Yeah, I'll cover all your shifts for a month. Can I just watch this game, please? Thanks.
Just-
Yeah, I feel like there would be no bigger hype final match than LA versus LA. There's not another combination you could come up with that I would think would have bigger hype.
However, now that I know that the playoffs are happening in New York, that I don't want to say that changes my picks because it doesn't. But the fact that it's in New York, just the players for New York will be feeling that hype a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that will help because everyone discounts that whenever they're talking about esports in general. Oh, wherever it is, that doesn't matter. The players are going to play the same. No,
It does.
having that sixth man, that seventh man behind you matters a lot.
They have that for Seattle. What is it, the 12th man or the 13th man or whatever? The
Same
fans?
up here. I'm Canadian. I'm the only Canadian on this podcast at the moment.
You're one of like 3 Canadians that I know, so.
Yeah, but up here we have the CFL, the Riders. Riderville is called the 13th man. That's
Yeah.
another name. Just the cheering from the Riders.
Riders have a big following. I've listened to random talking about it and stuff during the games and whatnot, and those people are intense.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see when away and home teams for matches actually start to matter, where we're not always playing in LA, that we're going to start traveling.
Do you think that'll happen next season?
They said that they're going to start implementing it, but they haven't said if it's going to be next season, because there are going to be a bunch of changes, which we can discuss at another time. But there's already going to be so many changes going on from season 1 to season 2 that I don't think they're going to implement the home and away team properly, I guess is the best way to put it.
It would be too expensive.
That's
Yeah.
my concern is I don't know how lucrative it really is for them to be able to afford that, especially with the rumor of them adding the more teams.
Here's the thing, with them adding the more teams, I see it being more lucrative than how it is now with the
Yeah.
teams we have.
Oh yeah,
For the
it's
simple
more
fact,
advertising
then you
money.
can have the fans who can't make it. Like me,
Mhm.
I'm Canadian. I've said that. I can't drive all the way down to LA. Whereas, let's say they get a new team and that team is.
I said I'm 4 hours away,
Yeah,
and I still
she's
can't do it because I can't ever leave long enough
Yeah.
to be away from work.
But let's say they get a team in North Dakota, South Dakota. That's a 2-hour drive from where I live to the North Dakota South to the Canada North Dakota that
The
Canada.
border.
Yeah,
the
that
border thing.
Yeah, that thing. Words,
The
English,
thing
hard
that
right now.
divides us.
Yeah, that wouldn't be that hard for me to go make, for a Saturday game, make a weekend out of it, spend a couple days down in the States once I have a passport and I'm allowed to get one again.
So.
That's a different show.
That,
So, but I think it's gonna be really, really awesome. I feel like there's our DMs with each other during these games are just gonna be. I feel like we just need to get on voice chat during these games if we can. 'Cause it's a lot easier than having to type out freaking out.
I know. The one day I was gone and I came back and there was 56 messages. I'm like, it was just you two. How did you do this?
Easy. You underestimate our skills.
that day, wasn't it the not LA, the
Shanghai.
London.
Wasn't it?
No, it was the London Philly game because
Oh,
it was
yeah.
to make sure that Dallas could get in the playoffs. Yeah, and I
Oh
had
no, the
I
Shanghai
had
was me and
Pokemon things
Retros.
to do.
Yeah, but that was the same day too, the
Mhm.
Shanghai one. That was the same day. It's just we moved over to our own private Discord message because we didn't want to flood it with 6,000 messages.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Every 2
Oh, yeah.
seconds, oh my god, this play! Oh, that snipe! Did you see that diva ult? Yeah,
Well, you and I were on voice chat for the stage finals.
yeah.
Well, it was the first two. You had to leave for the
Oh
New York
yeah,
for
I know that,
Valiant.
that's right.
And that's all we kept doing. Did you see Taimu make that shot?
Yeah,
Did you see that? Oh my gosh, look.
yeah. Oh my god, Mickey did a thing! Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting to be able, just for me personally, to be able to be so excited about esports again. Because I used to follow Call of Duty esports religiously, and now I barely follow it. And so it's exciting for me to have an esport that I'm passionate about again. So this makes me happy.
For me, it's exciting to have one. I hate what I'm about to say, but that's mainstream that people are accepting of. Like, my parents aren't accepting of esports, but yet they still talk about the Overwatch League just for the fact that they see how invested I am into it. And just the way the Overwatch League was set up, it's easy for people who aren't fans to get in and enjoy. As I said, I watch CSGO religiously. I really do. I have watched every single tournament this year. As much as it pains me to say, I've watched every single tournament this year. And it's just nice to be able to watch this and to be accepted by my friends no matter what background they come from. Whether it is, Call of Duty like Frag, or League of Legends like some of my cousins, or CSGO and Overwatch like the majority of my friends base.
It's funny you say that because the other day I was watching Overwatch League on my phone on the way to dinner with my dad, and he saw how invested I was, and all of a sudden he's asking me to explain to him what Overwatch even was. I was like, oh, it's Overwatch. He goes, yeah, but what is it? And I was like, oh, just sit back and let me tell you.
How much time you got?
How much time do we get to the restaurant?
The thing that I like about Overwatch League is that it's not just my team. Like, yeah, I'm a diehard LA Gladiators fans, purple and white forever, but when I sit down and watch the day's matches, yeah, don't give me that. I will watch the matches and I will cheer, like, if it's Fuel versus Houston, because that's happened a couple times. I'm so torn on who I want to win because you guys like them. And
The amount of Houston skins I've had to buy because of lost bets. I still gotta buy that Zenyatta skin, by the way. I haven't done it yet.
I love how nobody, like, makes bets with the Gladiators.
Because
like,
I already know we're gonna lose. At least with Houston, I have a better chance.
I did. I've just told you something to prove it, Thief.
You did.
Yeah, so whenever our teams play, we make bets with each other, and the losing person has to buy a skin from the winning team's little set.
And you have to wear it for a week.
Yes.
So. And then you wore the Gladiator skin for like a month, didn't you?
Actually, like 3. I still have it equipped.
I like the colors. I like the Houston colors because that's Beyond's colors technically. So, and then I have a Dynasty Rhyme skin and a Shanghai Dragons Roadhog skin. I just like colors.
You're so pretty.
For me, I hate what I'm about to say because it seems tacky, but Optic Gaming through and through, black and green wall.
She's gonna have to reevaluate our friendship right now.
Right there.
And that's kind of what I love because you're an Optic Gaming fan, which is what pushed you to the Outlaws. I'm an Envy fan, which is why I'm a Fuel fan. So, brand loyalty through and through.
I just like purple.
That's how she picked her favorite team. I was like, ooh, purple.
No, it's not fair. I watched quite a few matches before I picked my favorite, so.
I will say the cool thing I like about the league, so Call of Duty, I did the same thing, is even though I was an Envy fan, I still watched the other games because it was just so entertaining to me and I loved it so much that if it was Rise Nation and Luminosity playing, I would still watch it because I love the game. And I do that with Overwatch League. I'm a Fuel fan, but I watch all of the games, and I am just as invested in all of the games that my team is not playing in as the ones where my team is playing in. I think that's a great thing about the league is people that watch the league are just Overwatch fans. So they just want to watch as much Overwatch as they can. So they're getting crazy amounts of views, even if it's not their favorite team, we're still invested. And I think Fee, you were saying how your kids even have watched. They've watched stuff with you.
Yeah, usually the first 2 matches of the day, because of the time zone we're in, they get to watch, and they'll stand here and here by my desk and they'll watch. And the couple of times that my husband's been home and Overwatch has been on, he makes me put it on the Xbox on the TV so that we can all sit around and watch. And we've watched as a family. My kids have even done the shields up cheer every once in a while.
Oh my god, have they? That's so cute.
Yes, it's so awesome. I love it. So
that's adorable.
I know.
That is really cool, though.
That's the thing that you're talking about, Greg. With Overwatch, just the way they made the game, literally just Blizzard themselves, the way they made the game, it's bringing people together and families together, and that's what I love about this. As I said, my family has never been accepting of the amount that I put into esports, but with Overwatch League, they're fine with it, and that's kind of cool. Do I want every single esports title to do similar thing where it's, let's say Cloud9 would be New York Cloud9, stuff like that? No, I want the teams to be like Envious. I'm going to pull them up because they just released their French roster and now they're looking at picking up a North American roster for CSGO. Mm-hmm. I like that to happen for games like CSGO that have been there for so long, that we're the whole, we're not going to be we're not going to be the standard North American way. We want to be different. I like it for that. But for Overwatch, it's working amazingly, and I want to see it thrive.
I do too, and I do, like I was saying before, it's really nice to have that competitive fire, at least for me, back. There's all these games that I need to go beat, but what do? I sit and play Overwatch.
Yeah.
I
Last
love it
night
that
you were
much.
complaining about that.
Yeah, I did. I was like, all these games I need to beat. What am I doing? Sitting here playing comp Overwatch.
So when we end the podcast, I know you have to go do things, but you gonna play Overwatch with me?
Yeah, I can swing that.
Yeah. See?
Although Retro's the only one that'll play comp with me, but that's
I will
fine.
play comp. I just suck.
It's okay, you're very close to
I
her
don't
skill
play
level.
comp just because I'm actually trying to like have a high rating, please. I've been in bronze like the last 4 seasons.
I'm
Yeah.
the only one who's been grinding. I ground out of bronze last season up into silver, and then I touched gold for a little bit there
Trying to
this
grind
season.
out of bronze was the purpose of last night. So what happened there?
And you want me to play and bring you down? Okay, yeah, we'll play comp.
Let's do it.
B, you actually have a higher SR rating than Frag.
Do
Yeah,
I?
probably now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you even have a
say
rating?
Not for
Yes.
this season, no.
See?
Not this season, no.
I thought you did. I thought we played some comp games together. I must be thinking about last season then.
You have
Yeah, it was
2,
probably
don't you?
last season.
Have you played any
I
comp games?
forget. I play too much.
Me? I haven't played any.
Okay. So, final topic of the show, MVP. We talked about this before we started the show. I think at least me and Retro have a common pick. I think these might be different because she likes to be the black sheep.
Of course I do.
So, Retro, what is your MVP pick?
I have 2 questions before we do that. One, MVP as in,
Whole
you
season.
know, the MVP trophy. Okay. Whole season, Gregory. She turned Shanghai around. Just the amount that she's been pulling on that. I see her getting MVP for that. Now, if we're going to go just playoffs and only the teams in playoffs, my money's on Pine for MVP.
We're
I
like
see
on
him.
the same wavelength. I feel like Gregory should get MVP. I do not think she will get it, however. I feel if we're gonna go through the whole season, because Gregory is still fairly new, I feel like there are other higher. They're gonna pick somebody that's a higher tier on a winning team. I feel like she should win it, but I don't think she will. Playoffs, I'm right there with you. I think if New York wins it, I feel like it's gonna be on Pine. I just like he said, there's Jonak, but I just feel like the gap is too large. It's gonna completely ride on Pine. So if New York wins, I have Pine hands down. If New York doesn't win, let's go with what was it? Retro's pick. The Valiant wins, I feel like it's going to be on either Fate or Soon.
Soon.
Soon is my favorite player from the Valiant. And Gladiators, do we even need to talk about any other player other than Fissure?
Who's better than Fissure?
Who's better than Fissure?
Nobody.
I don't want to say it, but he did help them get to where they are.
Yeah. He was it was great to have him on that team. There's no other way to describe it.
So is he your pick for both? Is he your whole MVP?
I mean, I would still go Gregory for MVP because it's fan based for the MVP for the regular season, and I think Gregory got a lot of hype, and she is widely watched, and she deserves it. She is an amazing tank player. I don't think I've seen anybody play Zarya the way that she does. It's a treat to watch. So, playoff wise, yeah, Fissure, hands down. Regardless of whether they win it all or not, hands down, Fissure.
That's accurate. I feel like Fissure's just he's Fissure. What more can you say other than Fissure?
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing with the Gregory argument or the Pine argument. It's Gregory, it's Pine, it's Fissure.
Yeah.
If it isn't one of those 3 for MVP,
I would be really surprised.
I don't know who it would be besides possibly Jonak, just for the fact that he is support, but yeah, he's out damaging their DPS sometimes.
Soon has a lot of fan backing, though. You can hear them
I
saying
love Soon. Soon is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
There is one other person I did just think of with the fact that it's going to be fan voted, and this will make Greg happy, Siegel.
Yes, Seagull.
Yeah, Seagull's definitely a chance too.
Yes, Seagull.
Let's have J-Crack go snip his wings.
Rude.
Of course I'm rude. I'm an Outlaws fan.
I wish I would. Accurate.
Okay,
Fucking
but
optics.
since we're talking about it, I have to ask, who would be the MVP for all of our teams? Like, who do you think Gladiators would be? Who do you think the Outlaws MVP is?
That's a really hard one for me because if I have to pick overall season for Dallas, I would honestly. God, this is a really hard one.
I know who I would pick. I have it already on my list because I'm a lister.
Yeah, she's a listener.
Yeah, you are.
So for Outlaws, I would go Linkser. I think Linkser has done a lot for that team.
Linkser's a nasty widow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nasty.
For me, a lot of people will hate it, but Jake,
That's
Some
a
people-
Seagull player.
because I'm a Junkrat player, I'm a Pharaoh player. That's not why. Just his play style and just the interviews he's done, just him in general. Jake is my MVP.
Yeah, Jake was a close second for me. The only reason I went Linkser is because of some of the Widow plays that he does. So
Oh, because of the Widow play, I'd have to say for your team, for Gladiators, hands down, Surefour.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, easy.
He's carried your team sometimes.
Mm-hmm. He has.
Fisher couldn't, he has.
Yeah.
So if Surefour and Fisher are the two for the Gladiators, hands down.
See, and I've been debating in my head because I want to say Taimu. I want to, but he was non-existent for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he's been playing really well, which I'm ecstatic about. But I feel like if we're going to judge the whole season, I feel like I have to pick Mickey. Just
Okay.
personally for me, I feel like I have to pick Mickey because he's been extremely consistent and he's been able to switch from that diva to the Brigitte and be very good with her. By the
Yeah.
way, he's a very good Brigitte player. And he's
That-
able to switch back and forth. So I feel like I have to give it to somebody that's been the most consistent throughout the whole season. So for me, Mickey has to be my pick for Fuel. I want to
That's
pick Taimu, I just don't think he was consistent enough.
Yeah.
That's my point. Like I watch competitive watch interviews and all that, and even the coach of Fuel has said, Mikey. I always forget how to say his name, even though you just said it. Him being able to swap to the Brigitte is what helped them out in this last stage become as good as they were, is having that Brigitte pick when no one else had one.
Yeah, I honestly think he's the best Brigitte player right now in Overwatch.
Oh yeah, hands down.
I-
My for MVP for your team, and sorry for cutting you off there.
oh, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Oh,
Who? Seagull?
So
I can see it. I can see where you're going with that pick. I can see it. I feel like for Seagull I feel like Seagull hasn't played as much this stage recently
Yeah.
as he has before, and he even got taken out for a while because he was playing horrible. And I feel like if I didn't pick Mickey, it's Taimu's been the most consistent, and I feel like my other pick, like OGE, has really, really amplified my pick for Mickey because I feel like OGE has made Mickey even a better player.
yeah.
But I can see the Seagull pick, and plus Seagull's hella popular. I mean, who doesn't? You know, did you see the last game where there was a guy with a seagull head and the standing behind the players? I mean,
No.
how do you not root for that?
I was not able to watch because I was working.
Yep, there was a seagull head, and it was beautiful.
Either I was working or I was on a date with random. One of the two. Either way, no offense. More important.
But it's
Oh, yeah.
it's really hard for me to pick an MVP for my team though, because then I look at players like Anko. Anko has been outstanding as the Zen. You know, Harry Hook's been kind of going down a little bit. I believe, wasn't Harry Hook he's been kind of pushing for him to be sort of like the leader of the team right now, if I remember correctly from what I saw in interviews. And then I'm sad to see that Effect hasn't been playing as much, because at the beginning part of the stages, Effect is why I started playing Widow.
Effect is a treat to watch.
Wait, so Effect's the reason why I had to suffer through that?
Yeah, Effect is why. When he was playing, it was not the Overwatch League, it was before that, it was the World Cup thing. And I saw him play. And that's what inspired me to become better at Widow, was watching that, because his Widow was just untouchable.
I would be curious to see what other fans have to say, not just for the player, but for who the player means, because it seems like on my list I've picked a lot of Widow players. And that's kind of a shock to me that I don't like seeing Widow when we're playing, unless you're playing it, Frag. And then I think you've played a couple times, Retro. But if somebody else plays, I'm like, oh god, no.
I still have that feeling. And I feel shame for when I see other people pick Widow, and I'm like, oh, they better be the best Widow ever. Otherwise, get the hell off of her. But all teams use her, so I feel terrible that I get mad at it.
Right.
That's the thing. All the teams use her, so to me, it's just like the AWP in CSGO. You'll see people think they can use it when they can't. The AWP in CSGO is a one-shot kill, pretty much, no matter where you hit. And it, again, is a sniper. So people will use it, whatever. I'll let people do what they want to do. I have the exact same feeling when I'm playing and I see all these Widow players. It's, okay, cool. You want to play Widow? Let's see if you can. I just hope you're going to swap off if you're having a bad game. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is kind of surprising that you actually have Widow players in there, especially considering, you know, the stigma on Widow, unfortunately, and also the fact that you and me are both tank players.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean, I picked a tank for mine, so it is kind of interesting to see that you picked so many Widows, you know.
I mean, I picked a tank for Gladiators, but I mean, yeah, looking at my list, there's a lot of Widow players on my list. So,
well, throughout the stages, like stage 2, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was stage 2. I forget which team it was, but they did a Widow pick when no one else was, and that's what carried them.
Yeah.
Through stage 2. And again, I hate this. I forget which team it was. I remember watching it. I remember cheering for it. I believe it was stage 2. Might have been stage 1, but still, I should know it. Simple as that. But I don't. And they chose that Widow, and that's what carried them through the entire stage. And after that, you started seeing more teams give Widow a try. Because before that, it was the Tracer. Tracer was the main one that was getting chosen. So, you know, choosing Widow is stupid. Tracer can get behind you and kill you. Again, it feels like 2 shots to the back of your head, and you're done.
That recall is really annoying still, though.
Yep.
Let me tell you. You get so close to killing her, and then whoop, nope, full health. Shit.
Yep. But that's where the good pro Widows are, because they'll know, okay, 5 seconds ago she was over here. They'll be aiming there. She blinks in, boom, her brains are splattered across the ceiling.
And that is the good thing, and I have tried doing that, is if you pay attention to the Tracer and you see where she's going, you're actually able to kind of map out, if she recalls, where she's going to end up. And I'm slowly starting to get better at figuring that out.
Yeah.
I've done it with Junkrat. I'll throw the trap where she was 5 seconds ago, and I'll be roughly right. Not 100% right, not like she blinks in and she's on top of it, but she'll be in that general area, so she'll walk over it.
In the ballpark, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully, I mean, our brackets have enough differences in them. We'll see. Maybe I'll come up with some kind of, like, cool prize thingy if one of you actually is better than me.
Yeah, I have a blank slide on the PowerPoint for the actual winners that we can fill in as teams go, so.
Yep.
It'll be fun to see who was right.
Been very excited. I'm still upset that we have to wait until July 11th, however.
Not gonna lie, if the Gladiators do win it all and these right, I'll probably buy like 2 or 3 Gladiator skins.
Oh yeah, I will buy if Thieves pick win, I will buy a Gladiator shirt if the Gladiators win. Just for
A
Thieves.
shirt?
I will wear it on the show. The very next show that we film after the championship game, if they win, I'll wear it on the show.
I might buy the shot cup, the whiskey cup.
Figures Retro is the one that buys the whiskey cup.
Hey, I'm a guy.
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic.
Well, there you have it. But I will totally do that. I eventually just want to own the shirts for all the teams anyway. I've been already talking about wanting to own a Shanghai shirt just because who doesn't root for Shanghai now?
I know.
The jerseys. When it comes down to me with the shirts, I own very few.
You do the hats
anymore. Because of my job, I have to wear polos. So if they had polos for the teams, guarantee you, I'd already have an Outlaws. I'd already have a Fuel.
We'll get him a Gladiators hat. We'll do that.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much about covers it. Just still really, really excited. There's going to be so much hype around this. I feel like them kind of dragging it out like this is almost going to create more hype. Sneaky
The
people.
thing I'm the most hyped about is them actually saying when season 2 is going to be.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
yes.
About that.
They need to hurry up and get the ball rolling on that.
I see it just from the rumors I've been reading and the confirmed stuff I've been reading from Blizzard. I see it November, December area.
Hopefully.
Be a nice Christmas present.
I hope I'm wrong and it's sooner. But
I
we'll
hope for
see.
tomorrow, but that ain't gonna happen. So I'll take what I can get.
Season 2 and playoffs? I mean, why not?
Exactly. You have season 2 on Monday through Wednesday, and then playoffs every other day.
See, look, Blizzard, we did the work for you.
Exactly.
What are you hiring people for? You just come watch this show.
Exactly.
We got you covered.
We might always have the best ideas, like having Frag be the boss of Beyond, but we always have good ideas.
Rude.
I think today was my first day on Beyond and my last one.
So, we're looking for a third host for the show, if anybody's interested. We have a mysterious opening that just happened. So, you be sure to hit me up on Twitter if you want that spot.
Oh, come on, Craig. You know I love you. I'm just bugging you.
Miranda will be a widow already.
Now she's threatening your life.
I didn't say I was going to be the one to cause it.
Oh.
Brandon would kill me for insulting Frag.
Oh, see, look at that. I don't even have to do anything.
Yeah. Just like when I insulted you that night, Lee. She really was.
Yeah. I'm sure she
Richard
was.
gets his life threatened on a daily basis, so
I'm used to it.
yeah, you should be. But I think we did some good coverage. I'm just really excited, guys. I'm really, really excited. So, if you guys have different picks, make sure you guys let us know what your brackets are. I'm interested to see how many different combinations of responses that we can get. So, but we will be filming all throughout playoffs. We will also be filming all throughout the off season. There's always roster moves and new things that are announced. So we will make sure that we guys keep you posted on everything that's going on, so you don't have to do the research yourself and you can be lazy and sit here and listen to us.
Yeah, we'll do the research.
We'll
Not
do it
like
all
me.
for you. I mean, we just said Blizzard's work. We might as well just do everybody else's work too. So,
Yeah.
but
As I said, not like me and Dee have lives. We enjoy doing all this research.
I know.
damn my life, damn my busyness, damn now I
Yep.
have 2 shows. So, but
You can do it.
oh, I totally can do it. But it was definitely fun. I look forward to more shows, and I want to thank my lovely 2 new co-hosts here. Yay! Retro
Yay.
and Thee. Thank you guys for agreeing to put up with me on a more consistent basis. That's not easy.
You got it.
This seems like less consistent than before I agreed to be on the show, actually.
Probably. But make sure you guys, I will post all of our social medias down below. I will also post the playlist for our Beyond Bite show, which you guys should also check out. So now you guys have 2 shows you guys need to watch. I'll post everything below. I will also post links to our brackets below. So if you're having a hard time paying attention to it on the stream, you can just click the link that's going to be below this video. You can pull up our brackets when you're not watching. So you guys can kind of take a better look at what we're wanting to do. But make sure you give us your opinions and your thoughts. Hit the pretty like button. We would greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys next time on Technical Advisors.
And quickly,
Look what I did there.
I do want to know down in the comments who all agrees with me that is going to be on Pine's back if New York makes it. I want to see that from everyone watching.
Yes, MVP picks. Put those in there too. We need to know. I want to hear. I have a feeling that the people that watch the show are potentially going to have a lot of different picks than us. So I'm really interested to see like reasons. Don't just post your MVP picks. I want to know why. I need details.
All the juicy
I want
details.
arguments. So
we want to have debates.
Yes, we want to fight.
Make them civil. We all know the interest.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. As long as it's, adulted, we're fine. So, but we will see you guys next time. Enjoy all of our picks, and then we will be back next week doing more coverage of all the good stuff of what's going on, and then soon we will be able to get right into the playoff action and cover all of the games for you. So if you don't get to watch it, like Port Retro sometimes, you'll just get to watch it here, and we'll break it all down for you, especially with our Stat Master Thea up there.
Oh yeah.
Stat Queen right there.
Oh yeah, if it wasn't for Thee posting some of the stuff in our group chat,
I wouldn't know anything.
I would have had a lot less knowledge coming into this.
Yeah. It's Thee.
Yeah, it's Thee.
Yeah.
I tried to do a lot of research. My main research is more for, future show topics, like the rumors of expansion for season 2.
Oh, that's going to be a good show.
That's going to be a fun one to do.
Yep.
You guys saw the work I was already putting into that.
Mm-hmm.
These already had conversations with me over that. We know where my work has been put into.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of juicy good stuff for you guys in future shows, so make sure you guys tune in for that.
As long as Trek doesn't fire me before then.
Jury's still up on that one. Still open applications. But we will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Everybody do it the bow wave. Bow wave.